This is an introduction to the Smart City Benchmark app. Those of us working in smart cities have worked out that we do better if we work between cities in a way where we can share best practices and understandings of what's working and what's not. And that's what this Smart City Benchmark app allows to happen in a structured way. I'm Paul Wilson, Smart Cities Trusted Advisor at TM Forum. And in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to explain to you how our app will help you make use of the standards and best practices that exist all around the world, and that 6 collaborative smart city organizations have come together to give this some momentum, and together we work with more than 500 cities. So let's see all of this through the eyes of a smart city leader. Here we are. This is you, the smart city leader, and you're excited about what you're going to be able to do with your smart city. You might be thinking about Internet of Things assisted living houses for the elderly. You might be thinking about mobility challenges, congestion, parking issues, and how smart parking solutions might work. You might be thinking about smart arenas and how rich media experiences with loads of data, apps, and incredible video performances will make your center of your city more vibrant at night. And there are so many other things you might be doing in your smart city project. So I'm sure you will have gone and looked at the standards organizations who are developing some fantastic standards to help the world develop smart cities. And our app is based on some of the best standards coming out from these organizations. But it won't take long before you discover the complexity involved. And here's a slide showing you the protocols and standards bodies behind the Internet of Things. It gets a little bit baffling. You thought it would be a good idea to connect some things up, but then the architectures begin to get rather complex. And now you begin to become quite knowledgeable about different networks, providing what kind of connectivity, over what distance and what data rate. It is very interesting, but it also is a little bit baffling and complex as to what to do. And even worse than that, sometimes your local stakeholders are beginning to wonder if we should have even got into this, or are you the right person to lead this forwards? Well, that's not right, because this is complex, this is new, this is something that nobody knows exactly how to do. So let's get back to basics and have a little think. All the smart city organizations on the screen have come to agree that there are 4 fundamentals behind every smart city project. You need to have the right leadership and governance in place. You need to engage stakeholders and have a strong focus on the citizen. You need to make use of ICT, and the more integrated it is, the better. And then the data that comes off this needs to be managed and used in clever and new ways. So how does the app work? Well, you as the leader might want to take a little look at it. I'll show you how in a minute. And then you invite what we call evidencers from your city, people who put evidence into the app about what's happening in your environment. And we create for you an exclusive area that's for your city. That might take a couple of weeks for those people to put the data in as they gather it up. And then it's time to invite the stakeholders. Stakeholders might be organizations in your city like the university, the emergency services, businesses and startup groups, community organizations, even artists and others. You'll probably know exactly who they are. Then we invite them into the app and they can rate how we're doing. And that might take a couple of weeks whilst people get that sorted. Everybody will see a homepage a little bit like this one, and they need to be able to use either an Android or an Apple tablet to do the process. And if you want to just get yourself familiar with how it works, please have a download and have a play in the demo. You don't need to commit to anything at that point. You just see a little bit more about how it works. But once you've registered, you'll be managing a local team, and they will authenticate themselves into the app using LinkedIn. Then you give them a role. You can invite a person to help you run the process, a consultant if you like. And some cities have found that very helpful to just bring on board someone to manage this whole process for them. Or you might assign someone as an evidencer or someone just to be the team. We find that stakeholders of about 20 to 60 people is a really manageable and normal size, but we've had discussions with some cities about bringing in many more than that. You need to think about who you need to engage, because this is really a team building and vision building process that will help you in your city get momentum. And the people need to be able to rate how important is this, what's our current capability as is, and what's our 2-year target, and which parts of the process are they having some responsibility for. Along the way, they'll be able to access videos and case studies from cities around the world, and also access best practice standards from the standards bodies. And it will result in a dynamic chart, a bit like this one, where you see your own version of how it should be, and then you come together to work on a city scale version as well. Here's the workshop where you can adjust the scores. This takes either a day or half a day, depending on the time you've got available. And of course, it's going to be quite a serious event if you've got, 40 or 60 people there. So this is something that you should take reasonably seriously. One of the things we've learned along the way is that it's important to know where you agree and where there isn't agreement. Where you agree, you'll go fast. Where there isn't agreement, you're probably going to find all sorts of reasons why things don't quite work. And that takes time, and it's draining. So this is a way of visualizing agreement and non-agreement in a non-confrontational way that you can use at the workshop to discuss areas which need a bit more thought. And once you've agreed your city statement, it's time to publish. You can publish openly, and that's best for you and for everyone else. Or you can publish within a country or a predefined group. If you want to stay anonymous, you can just contribute to the benchmark. Or if you have to stay closed, because that's the city's policy, you can do that too. But the more you publish, the more you benefit, and the more other cities around you benefit. So now, having gone through this process, that will take you 1 or 2 months, and it will involve the stakeholders in your city in a very intelligent and engaging process. You now can get back to what it was you thought you were going to do, this time having been informed by global best practices, by what other cities are doing, and now you can act with stakeholder support at the local level, which will release a lot of energy into what you're doing. So that's the Smart City Benchmark app. We found in the process of making this over a period of 6 or 9 months that we shouldn't do this alone. We needed to work with others, a little bit like a city needs to work with its stakeholders. And that's why we've teamed up with leaders in the field who together work with 500 cities. We're working with WeGo, with the City Protocol Society, with the Shanghai Academy, with Hypercat, with the Smart Cities Council, with the Open and Agile Smart Cities movement. And there are more joining in each month. So the next thing I suggest you do is go on the App Store or on Google Play with a tablet, download the app, have a play in the demo. When you feel ready, register your interest. We'll be in touch with you in the next couple of days, help you set the thing up. And if you need to know a little bit more about TM Forum, we're a global member association for digital business. We're a not-for-profit that focuses on connecting digital ecosystems. And with our 900 members, we're developing things like open APIs, benchmarks like this one, innovation catalysts and work streams, and more cities are joining in what we're doing. You can find out a lot more online. Thanks for watching.